the star of the show, the guest investor. He's a legend amongst these parts. From what I hear, the number one referrer of JWB clientele. He's also a legend where he lives, where he has a hockey arena named after him.
Absolutely.
So kind of a ray of sunshine follows him everywhere. Future nightclub owner, Roger Voisinet. So hello, Roger. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
What kind of assets are you invested in these days so that everybody knows why you're our guest investor over here?
Greg will go into this. Right now, I have 8 homes starting in 2012 and 14 different notes. And all the notes are in my real estate IRA, which is called X Equity Trust Company. And that's how I know about JWB and GREGG, through Equity Trust Company. They had a webinar in 2011, I think.
Long
and
time
I know
ago.
Equity Trust through Remax International, where I've been working for 33 years. So that's how one thing led to another. And I met Greg on the webinar and we talked on the phone, and he said, now we don't want any flippers. You're going to have to be a long-term investor, but we have a program. We can fly you down to Jacksonville, give you a rental car and a hotel for 3 days. You put a $5,000 refundable deposit, which made sense. I met the team. It was in the old office building. We had lunch, sandwiches and potato chips. And then I went out with a guy who's no longer there and looked at 9 homes. Ended up buying the very first one we looked at. Never went inside. It was Odin Avenue.
Beautiful.
95,000. I think the rent was $950 or $900. I just looked. The rent's now $1,250. So that's 35 to 40% increase in those 10 years.
There you go.
And the house is, I think it's valued in the low 2s, but it could be more.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a couple of things. Then locally, I'm involved in about 3 or 4 commercial buildings. One's called the Da Vinci Center. We own the Main Street Arena, Ice Arena, which we just sold and converted it to, it's called the Tall Oaks Technology Center on 23 acres, 120,000 square foot. We bought that for $3 million with a 2-year closing because it was half rented. And we closed in 2 years, and it was fully rented when we closed, and it was appraised at $7.5 million. And we paid $3 million.
Wow.
And the Ice Arena, we paid $3 million and sold for just around $6 million, 7 years later. And we had to sell. That's a whole nother story.
That's really incredible. I mean, you do so much for us, other than just, of course, us getting to serve you. You actively go out of your way to bring really wonderful people into our organization. I think every company dreams of having clients like Roger. What I'm sharing with you is your client ROI report. Could you kind of share with us what was your why when you originally made the decision to invest with us?
Well, you can't ever really get to where you want to be emotionally and financially just with your working by the hour, even if it's on commission, which we do in real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So you want your assets to work for you all the time, and that's passive income. And the more passive income, I think, the better one's life is if it's positive. So learn about investing in single family homes through my work here in Charlottesville that I met you guys. So it's great to know that $8,000 to $10,000 a month is coming into an account after most expenses, and at some point everything will be paid off.
Roger, when I got to put this together for you, it was really, really fun, not just because you and I are friends and you've been investing with us for so many years here, but it's hard to take a client all the way to the point where we've reached their passive income goal. It takes many times 10 years, 20 years. And because Roger has invested with us for so long, what we're looking at right now is an example of Roger showing up 10 plus years ago and saying, I wanted to have this supplemental income so I can do the things that I want to do. He let us know that we needed to generate $3,500 of passive income from his JWB portfolio. We broke that down into the number of rental properties it was going to take to do that, which based on the market at that point was 8 properties. He purchased those 8 properties. And as we stand here today, sharing this awesome success story, you've reached that, brother, by a large margin. I looked at your average passive income in 2021, the full year last year, and your average income was $7,567. And we got there together, man. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. I remember the original goal was just 5 homes. In fact, on some report, it shows the original goal, and obviously we've exceeded that. And I wouldn't have exceeded it had I not been so happy and confident in Greg and Alex and Pablo and Lauren and Sarah and Jamie and the whole team, you know.
It's a total team effort. Roger, we're going to wrap this thing up, my friend. And the best part of this. So what I get to do is break down all of the 5 profit centers, including the profit center that, Roger, you really haven't seen beyond what some random company has sent you a letter about as far as your home price appreciation. So I did a little analysis on all 8 of your properties for any folks who are watching the show or any clients who want to be a part of this. Something I offer for everybody who wants to do this. So if you want to be a part of the show, reach out to Madison right now, raise your hand, and we'd love to make a spot for you on a future show. But Roger, here's where we are for the 5 profit centers. So from 2012 till now, your net rental income has been over $353,000 of net rental income. How does that make you feel?
Very good. I think we need to tell the viewers that you are not allowed to pay the income taxes or insurance. No, not income tax, real estate taxes or insurance, right?
I know what you mean.
So someone like me has to pay that outside of this review.
For a property that you own in cash, and this is something we disclose and share, right? This is a very passive investment, but it's not passive to the point where we're going to pay your property taxes for you, and we're not going to be on the hook to pay your insurance costs for you. In a financed investment,
yeah, right. Not allowed to. Is that correct?
I think so. Either way, even if we were, we wouldn't do it, right? In a financed investment, this is taken care of for you because the bank generally escrows it in your payment. So you don't have to make a separate payment. You don't have to think about it. But for a cash purchase, you do have to think about it. And I'm really glad you pointed that out. It's not something we've talked about yet.
I hadn't heard that.
All right. So taxing, since we're talking about taxes, this is a different type of taxes. These are your income taxes that are saved because of how you're purchasing this home, and depreciation in a tax perspective, which saves you tax dollars you don't have to spend. Raj, you've saved over $55,000 in taxes by buying rental properties and taking advantage of that depreciation. Pretty cool, huh?
So one note, you don't want to own a home like this in a real estate IRA or a SEP IRA because you can't get the depreciation. And I had one home, not with JWB, that I ended up selling just to get it out of the equity trust account. So that's poor. Yeah, the depreciation is a big deal. That's why one reason people invest in real estate.
Absolutely. So if we do some of these breakdowns for folks that have purchased in their IRA, it's a big zero for tax savings there, right? You're missing out on one of the profit centers. Now, it still can make sense depending on your goals and whatnot, but tax savings are so much better when you purchase outside of your retirement accounts. Principal pay down. Now, I couldn't factor in how you do the HELOC and all that good stuff. So I'm just taking with what was seen there. But when you buy properties in cash, there is no loan on it. So we haven't been able to benefit from principal pay down. So our principal pay down is 0 there. One thing we really have taken advantage of is home price appreciation. Roger, for your 8 homes that you purchased in various stages from 2012, 2015, 2018, 2019, 2021, you have earned over $715,000 in home price appreciation for choosing the right team in the right market. Did you know that?
That's twice the rental income too.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
And it's probably even more than that. If I really had to sell, I don't know what numbers you're using. Are you using tax assessment numbers, or? I'm
looking at it. I've just put my own expertise on it,
Oh, okay. Very good.
Yeah. So I feel pretty good about that number, but what's also included there is I'm taking out, even if you were going to sell, I'm taking out all the costs and holding costs and selling costs and all that. So that is decreasing your returns on investment. So your returns, if I didn't include that stuff, would actually be much higher than that. But I'm so glad you pointed out that it's even more, it's twice as much as your net rental income. Yet most people who know they're going to be investing for a 10 to 20 year period don't factor in potential home price appreciation when choosing a market. Clearly Roger did, and clearly he's benefited from that choice.
And I do get principal paid on it, just not obvious. So all these numbers are actually better than.
Exactly.
Pretty good.
Inflation hedging, you're benefiting from that right now because your home prices have gone up like we just talked about. Your rents have gone up like we've talked about. Even on your HELOC, which you're paying down, right? You are benefiting from that because inflation right now, it's probably closer to 10 or 15%. And I know you're not paying anywhere close to that on the money that you borrow. You continue to win as an inflation hedge. We take out those selling, holding, and closing costs just to make this a true IRR, a true return on your investment, including the time value of money here. And your expected returns when you showed up and put that money with us, Roger, back in the day, we told you to expect a 7% return on investment from all 5 profit centers. Your actual return on investment is 15.9%, my friend. We are absolutely beating expectations, and honestly means a lot that we have such a strong relationship and just doing this service for folks that we just love and appreciate so much, like you, Roger, man. It just makes it all the more just worthwhile. And
then there's the intangible benefits of providing, good housing for families, helping keep your staff employed, for instance, and having someone to visit when we go to Florida.
There's so many other positive benefits. I mean, going back to the decision you made, listen, in 2011 or 2012, whenever we met, we were a lot less polished. Now looking back after 10 years, how has this experience changed your life?
I think it made me realize that one can invest outside their community. Usually people say, I got to be able to drive by everything I own and feel comfortable in the community. But now, through meeting you, through Equity Trust and going down to Jacksonville, I learned that I can invest comfortably outside my community. And that led to other things, like I told you, Panama, Belize. I don't know, I think it's a good feeling to be more independent that way. It's a good time in my life because I'm working less and less. I don't know, I'm older than you guys, but I even get Social Security now. Which someday
I wouldn't have believed that.
It's a great feeling to have like $3,300 show up in your bank account every month.
There you go.
Without having to ask for it.
Another form of passive income for you.